But let me share something about Bapak Ono Widodo. Bapak Ono Widodo Purbo, born in Bandung in 1962, he is a public figure and well recognized as an expert on information technology. Mr. Ono was graduated from ITB, Bandung Institute of Technology, Bandung, with a major of electrical engineering. Then he continued his study to McMaster University and Waterloo University, Canada. Furthermore, Mr. Ono Widodo Purbo is also well known for his work as an author of more than 40 books, educators, and also speakers at many events. As an activist, Mr. Ono is also recognized for his work introducing Wajan Bolik as the smallest district internet connection. Without any further ado, let's welcome Mr. Ono Widodo Purbo. Bapak Ono, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Sorry,
Morning.
the light in my in this room is not very good, so my face maybe is too dark. I will share my slide. Okay. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, Pak Hanafi. Thank you, Pak Agung. Thank you for all the organizer. So thank you everyone for coming. I will talk about improvisation on low-cost internet technology. Okay, this is like 30 years of effort, 30 years of experience trying to improve, trying to motivate people how to build a low-cost internet technology. Okay, I have uploaded my slide in the chat, so you can freely download my slide. My slide have lots of URLs, lots of link to the Google and so on. So my type of presentation may be a little bit different than the normal people. So the outlines. So I will talk about the objective, why we do such approach in the technology. And then the story began about 30 years ago, 30 years ago, early attempts in building low-cost internet technology. We use walkie-talkie, we use packet radio technology, which connected to a walkie-talkie, and then gradually we modify Wi-Fi to long-range connection. Long-range means what? 50 to 150 kilometers connections. And then we also introduce community network. Sometimes people call it a neighborhood network to reduce the internet cost. And then later, this is more recent, we try to introduce open source based transceiver station, which is 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G technology to the community, and community start building community cellular in their village. And also during this period, during the pandemic period, during coronavirus period, we try to introduce internet offline technology. So internet is not an online, this is internet offline technology. So hopefully people can get their knowledge offline, not online, because online is too expensive for many people in the village. And then the last, I try to share how to empower the community, how to educate them, how to make them knowledgeable to adopt the technology. Okay. So the research objective is low cost actually. Many of us, when we do research, we are trying to increase the quality, make it a much better technology. In my case, it's different. So I am not really pushing for increasing the performance. I am more leaning towards lowering the quality but still usable. So basically lowering the quality, it means lowering the cost. And then the most challenging one is how to spread the knowledge, how to spread the technology, convincing the society, educating the society, and then hoping when the society convinced, they will invest, deploy, and operate the technology themselves. So basically a finance process. So people invest their own money, they deploy their own technology, and they operate the technology. To be honest, this is not an easy process, and what you are going to see in this talk, this is a 30 years endeavor, 30 years of struggle, 30 years of fighting, basically. Well, I'm not talking about the fighting in this talk, but in reality, we actually do a lot of fights. Okay, so this is a 3 years process. 3-0 is very long time process, but it's fun. Okay, let me show you some of the results. This is some of the results. The keyword you can search in Google. The keyword is Wajan Bolik or RT RW net. What is Wajan Bolik? We go to Google. We know wok for cooking. Okay. Oh, I hope my Google is working fine. Wow. Okay. This is wok for cooking. You know, for cooking wok. Okay. And in Indonesian word, wok, it's not wok. It's wajan. This is the Indonesian word for wok. Same pictures. This is wok in English. This is wajan in Indonesian words. Okay. And then we use this as an antenna, as a parabolic antenna. Let me show you a parabolic antenna. What is parabolic antenna? So the innovation is very parabolic antenna. The innovation is very simple, basically. So we know the parabolic antenna is like this. It's very similar to wok. It's very similar to wajan. The problem with wajan and wok, the efficiency, the precision is not that precise. It's about 60% precise. But still, in the wok, the focus point, the focal point is around this range, but it's not in one single point. That's the problem with wok for cooking. While in parabolic antenna, the focus point is in single point like this. So it's very precise. They create this surface precisely, so all the signal will be reflected to single point. While in wok, the signal is not reflected into a single point, but still workable. So what we do is we combine parabolic antenna and wajan. So, oops, sorry. So we combine these two into wajan bolik. That's it. That's the innovation. So this is what this is the results. We combine wok and parabolic antenna into single wok. But the interesting thing is we use Google here. So we use Google, use wajan bolik as keyword, and you check the websites. All of these websites are Indonesian websites. Surprise, surprise. So a technology can be spread to many people, and people will adopt the technology and they build the technology for their own purpose. So this is some people actually trying to use tin can antenna, which is the this part of the wok for connection. So this is what we do. This is a fun process when we spreading the technology, and having this kind of technology, they can make a longer distance connections for the internet. Okay, so this is one wok bolik. Okay, the other one we need to make a neighborhood, basically a tethering. This one, the RT RW net, is basically internet tethering. So we can tether the internet to our surroundings, but the surroundings is our neighborhood, the whole neighborhood, like 10 houses or 20 houses, and share the cost among the houses. So make the internet low cost, lowering the cost for the internet. Okay, this is the example of RT RW net, similar to wok bolik. Okay, if you look at the URL, all of the URL are Indonesian URL. Surprise, surprise. This is our Indonesian, mostly Indonesian URLs, mostly Indonesian sites. The fun stuff is we can go to online shop. For example, one of the online shop is Bukalapak in Indonesia. Okay, let me check for wok bolik. Wajan bolik. Okay, people sell the equipment. 75,000 rupiah, which is like $7, $5, $20. $20 is included include in $20 is normally USB Wi-Fi. This is include USB Wi-Fi here and the cable and so on. So this is $30 include the USB Wi-Fi. Very simple setup. So people selling this, okay, selling the technology. The technology we introduce, we invent, people actually adopting the technology and they use it. Let me change the keyword into RT RWNet. Same thing. Surprise, surprise. People sell these things. Okay, they make money from the invention. This is the important part. This is the important thing. The technology is actually adopted by the people. People believe, people convince, they believe in the technology, and they invest, they deploy, they operate the technology. That's the beauty of it. Because of this, a lot of people in Indonesia can have low-cost internet access. Okay, so this is the RT RWNet. It's people sell these things. So don't ask. Please don't ask how much money do I get. I get I get a lot of money from God. So don't worry about that. Okay, so this is the example of the final result. Now I like to show you the process. Okay, so this is the objective, lowering the cost, spreading the technology, and this is 30 years process, and this is the final results now. In early days, in the earlier times, this is like 30 years ago, like I'm still around 20, 25 years old, very, very young, okay? You can check these websites, okay? These two URLs, okay? Let me see, I think I already opened this one, okay? I think I can translate, okay, into English. Can I read? Okay. So this is Indonesian Internet History website. You can check the Internet History website. You can check the pre-internet history, including the beginning of the internet, Indonesian internet in 1990s. When you see the beginning of the internet, early internets. Okay, let me see. Feel free to put questions in the chat. I will try to read the question in the chat box. Okay, when you see the early internet, we use this kind of equipment. Okay, this is the equipment, the first internet gateway at Institute of Technology in Bandung. Institute of Technology in Bandung is the like the oldest Institute of Technology in Indonesia. Okay, this is the first internet gateway. Okay, let me see. Let me show you the important things. The important feature of the gateway. First, the diskettes. See, still big diskettes. They don't. This gateway, it didn't use lease line. It didn't use fiber optics. It used radio. This radio is used for people talk to each other, and we don't modify the radio. We actually injecting data into this radio. Okay, then we create the network that way. Okay, this is our server. At that time, this is our network actually in 1994. Mind you, these are radio network. It doesn't involve phone network. Yes, it involves some satellite network. This one, Vitasat, Oscar, and ETS-5 satellite. So it uses 5 satellite. This ETS-5 is Japan satellite. Vitasat is US. Oscar is amateur radio satellite. Mostly US, Europe. Okay. So yes, we use those things. But all these links is radio network. The speed is 1.2 kilobit per second. It's fun, eh? Okay, very fun. Okay, now having this radio network, if you like to see the actual radio technology, you can googling using the keyword ITB packet radio. Let me show you how it looks like. Sorry, I have to. Sorry. Okay, let me share again. Share screen. Okay. Okay, I use ITB packet radio keyword. Show you the result. So this is the technology, and you can see more detail of the technology, like the design of the modem, and this is some of our more better setup. This one is single sideband radio, so it can go for long distances. Okay, and this one is our how can I tell? This is our early Wi-Fi long-range network, but this one is not using the current Wi-Fi frequencies. So this is our 1 megabit per second link. We use loop IAGI, and the frequency is 900 megahertz, which is GSM frequency. That's why the operator a little bit upset with me, because I am stealing their frequency. And then the ministry talked to me, and I nearly go to jail because of this. But this is part of our experiment. Then we negotiate. We move to 2.4 gigahertz. So that's why we moved to 2.4, and then we struggle to liberate 2.4. Finally, in 5 January 2005, 2.4 gigahertz, our Wi-Fi frequency now is free. It's because of, in early days, we actually stealing the frequency like this. Okay, so we use this kind of technology. Now, so this is the 900 megahertz experiment. This is a little bit illegal, but well, it's part of the process. Sorry. Okay, so you can see the early attempts. We go from 1.2 kilobit per second into 1 to 2 megabit per second. The 2 megabit per second still illegal, and then we gradually move into 2.4 gigahertz, which is the one we use now. Okay, and then okay, wajan bolik, we have seen wajan bolik. Some people actually use satellite, the actual satellite parabola, rather than wajan. Rather than walk, we use satellite parabola, and we can go further. Okay, I'll show you what we did now today. Okay, I will show you using. This is what we did now. This is today. This is not 20 years ago. This website, linkui.com, it belongs to Ubiquiti. Okay, I will show you what kind of link we are dealing with. Okay, I will go to Manado. Manado is the northest city in Sulawesi Island. Okay, let me. Okay, so this is Sulawesi Island. This is Manado. Okay, okay, I have to grab of the URLs. Okay, sorry, I need the, so not URL, I need the coordinate. What's here? Okay, I need this one. So I get the coordinate, an approximate coordinate of the Manado. I'll show you what kind of capability we can do using this kind of connection. Okay, so this is in Manado area. Okay, this is Manado area. Some of my friend put a okay, I add point-to-point link. Put point-to-point link here in this mountain here. Okay, this mountain approximately. And then what they do, they are trying to make a connection to this island, Ternate. From this area to Ternate is, I'll show you the whole picture. So I am here in Jakarta now. Okay, so they make a connection from this city, Manado, oops, sorry, to Ternate, which is a small island here. Okay, the distance is about 300 kilometers, and this is what how they did it. Okay, show you a little. Okay, see this small island in between, they put a relay here. Okay, see the line becoming red because it goes down into the water, so I have to change the height into this area here. This is how they do it. Okay, see, it's becoming yellow now, so it's an okay connection. It's sorry. Okay, so from this mountain to this island, it's okay now. Okay, and then they make another connection from this island to Ternate. I have an account. Okay, let me see if I can sign in. You can create an account for free. The service is for free from Ubiquiti, and you can okay, you can design your link using this kind of connection. See, now I have two green connection. One is from Manado to the island in between, and then the other one is from the central the middle island here to Ternate. The first leg is 136 kilometer distance, and the speed is 200 megabit per second, and the second leg is 120 kilometers approximately. The speed is about 200 megabit per second. So the speed is quite high. If we want to make a higher speed, this connection is real today. So people actually building this connection. Some of my friends is now experimenting with 11 gigahertz equipment. Okay. Let me see if I can change it. Okay. So the speed can be approximately 800 megabit per second per leg. So if I can increase the bandwidth, I will increase the bandwidth to 56 megahertz. The speed is about 1 gigabit per second from Manado to Ternate. At 1 gigabit per second, the total distance close to 300 kilometers. So we are dealing with this kind of technology today. The early technology we use walk, but today is totally different. The cost of this equipment is not that expensive, you know. So we play with this kind of technology. We can have low cost, still low cost. Of course, it's much costly than a walk, but still it's low cost. At 1 gigabit per second, the distance is about 300 kilometers. So we are dealing with this kind of technology. Okay, so now we have long-range Wi-Fi. Okay, now having this long-range Wi-Fi, we need to connect the whole neighborhood. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we do tethering basically to the neighborhood, and you can Google RT-RWNet. And you can buy the equipment in the store. But today, many people actually modifying RT-RWNet. Okay, I'll show you in my note. I normally take a note on what happened. RT-RWNet. Okay, let me see. You can translate into English if you like, but I like to show you at this one, this last link. This is the most important, most fun. Actually, people sending me their story on how they build RT-RWNet or community network. Okay, we have 60,000 RT-RWNet in Indonesia. Because of that, International Telecommunication Union actually asked us to share our experience on building community network. So because of we have like 60,000 of it now. In the early days, many of us using Wi-Fi, but now they actually moving into fiber optics. This is the example. I'll show you the pictures. This is the example of fiber optics, a community network fiber optics. Let me see if I can. Okay. See, this one is in villages. You can see the house is not that very good. This actually villages in South Jakarta, far south. This is in Sukabumi, which is what, 2 hours drive from Jakarta, south of Jakarta. Okay, this is how they build these things. Or these are community based. Okay, so they actually building. They are now adopting fiber optics now in villages. The speed is quite high. Like this is FTTH, fiber to the home technology. So the download speed is about 2 point something, 2.3 gigabit per second shared by the community. Okay, depending on the number of users. Okay, so people actually building this thing. It's fiber optic to the village now today. Okay, there are a lot of pictures like this. You can browse, check this website, and you can see how they build it. And you can also check YouTube actually. YouTube, many of them actually uploading their experience building RT-RWNet fiber. Okay, see, this is so people actually sharing how they build fiber optics community network in villages. This is real. Okay, so people actually building the network in village. Okay, don't ask me about the legal aspect of this, but people actually build this. Okay, okay. Now I like to continue. So yes, we have 60,000 community network, and yes, we actually moving towards fiber optics community network. Okay, I need to tell you a little bit about the liberation of Wi-Fi in Indonesia. In the past, before Wi-Fi is liberated, people have to pay the government, the Indonesian government, about 2,000 US dollar per access point per year. So every year, every single access point have to pay about 2,000 US dollar per year. Okay, at that time, we actually, well, I have to say in polite words, I cannot use very straightforward words. At that time, with many of my friends, we actually educate many Indonesians how to build low-cost, high-speed community network using Wi-Fi. Okay, because of that kind of experience, people actually invite us to run workshop in Bhutan, in Nepal, in South Africa, and many things. You can download the document from this URL. Okay, LMS onocenter.or.id/pustaka/docs, and then resume 2020 edited. Okay, I think I already downloaded. This is the file. Okay, this is the file. Okay, if you like to see the YouTube files, videos, yes, you are welcome to click this URL on YouTube. But I like to show you some of the archive, the pictures. This is the pictures when I ran a workshop in Bangladesh. You can see this man in batiks, but I cannot read the single words here because this is in in Bangla, so I cannot read. This is the picture when I ran a workshop in Pretoria, South Africa. You can see this is a Pringles can, so we can make the Wi-Fi into longer distance. And this is a workshop on voice over IP in Bhutan, in Paro, in Bhutan, around 23, 25, forgot. Okay. Most of them using local traditional dress, and this guy is using local Indonesian traditional dress. And this one in the first World Summit on Information Strategy in WSIS in Geneva 2023. So I share how to build low-cost internet access. Because of this talk, many of during World Summit, many president and minister come to the World Summit from many countries. Because of that, people actually ask me to run a workshop in many of their countries. So after this, then I go to many countries, including this one is video picture during video TV interview in Ottawa in Canada. And this one when this is a little bit crazy, because what you see here is base transceiver station, BTS cellular, and this workshop was run in Professor Kanchana Interlab at AIT, and the person in what's that, blue t-shirts are from Bhutan. So I teach friends from Bhutan how to build their own telco, how to build their own cellular network using this kind of equipment. This is base transceiver station. Okay. Let me see. This is also taken at AIT, different years, on voice over IP. This one taken in Penang, Malaysia, on how to build walkbolic. The actual walk was borrowed from the hotel. So I borrowed the walk from the hotel to run the workshop how to make long distance connection. Okay. Okay. This is the past. This is the radio network. So the main problem with this is how to spread the knowledge to many people. So people will convince, they invest their own money, and they adopt the technology, and they build the technology, they build the infrastructure themselves using their own money. To be able to do those things, I need to write a lot of books. So the books is actually not for for aiming for a professorship. No, the book is actually for spreading the knowledge, so as many people convince and put their own money building the technology. So I wrote a lot of books because of that. Okay, and also we run. Thank you very much for Institute of Technology of Tangerang Selatan, because I am able to run. Let me see this website for free. The website is open course, itts.ac.id. This is an open course website. People can register for free, and then they can get they can access to the course for free, and they can get the certificate for free. So this course some of the course is related to what I was telling you. Where is it? This is IPv6, IoT, Internet safety. Where's the network? This is cybersecurity. This is computer network. So the one that I told you on and on is the computer network stuff. Okay, you can get from this website and get the certificate for free. Okay, now because of the international effort, finally many people from international community tell the Ministry of Communication and Information, at that time is Mr. Hatta Rajasa, the minister. People telling him about the good stuff of Wi-Fi for long distance communication, for low cost internet access. Finally, 5 January 2005, Wi-Fi is liberated. Okay, you can check the story on this website. Let me see if I can get it. Copy and then paste. So this story is written by Richard Hughes from Canada, from IDRC, and you can read the story how liberation was performed, how a liberation process of the frequency was done in Indonesia. Okay, so most of the time when we do liberation, we fight. We are not really fighting in Indonesia, but actually the international acknowledgement of what we are doing, creating a big pressure to the Pak Hatta Rajasa, Mr. Hatta Rajasa, the minister. Because of that pressure, Hatta Rajasa finally signed an act that Wi-Fi can be used for free without license. So now today, people can use Wi-Fi for free in Indonesia. In the past, we have to pay like 2,000 US dollar per access point per year. Okay, so that's the one. Okay, because of that, Wi-Fi is liberated. Okay, now our job is not finished. I'll show you the problem. This is the problem. You can download OpenSignal in Play Store. It can check the signal condition all over the world, including Indonesia. These are the signal in Indonesia. You can see this is Sumatra Island. You can see a lot of blank spot in Sumatra Island. Okay, this is the South Island is Java Island. The North Island is Kalimantan Island. A lot of blank spot in Kalimantan Island. Not much blank spot in Java Island, but if we zoom in to Java Island, especially the south part of Java Island, a lot of blank spot in south part of Java Island as well. This one is Kalimantan and Sulawesi, also a lot of blank spot. And this one is the worst part of Indonesia, the eastern part of Indonesia, Maluku and Papua. This is scary. Okay, not many signals. That means not many internet. And one time, I think last December 2020, the director for education in Papua province complained because they cannot perform school from home because 2/3 of the what's it? Not municipal. 2/3 of municipal in Papua, there is no cellular signal. So we are having problem with that. So the solution have been done since 7 years ago. We have been playing around with open base transceiver station. Open base transceiver station is like cellular network. Like we actually building a cellular network using open source technology. So basically, the way it works is very similar to sound card, but this one is not sound card for sound. This is for cellular, for 2G, 5G, LTE. Okay, you can go to GitHub, look for use keyword 4G, 5G, LTE, and then you get a lot of source code for this kind of technology. Okay, if you want to do your own programming, I'll show you a little bit then. Okay, GitHub. I go to GitHub. Okay, if you want to build a 4G, 5G, you can. Let me. Okay, 5G. Okay, 5G technology. So you can this. GitHub shows about 3,700 application source code on 5G. So yes, we actually can build our own 5G because the source code is open actually. See, like this, API of main network function in 3GPP 5G core network. They open everything, so we can build 5G. If you like 6G, of course, you can build your own 6G. If you want to do your own programming, you can use GNU Radio. Let me use GNU Radio in Google. Googling GNU Radio. GNU Radio. It's very simple. See, this is how we program. It's very scary. The programming process is using graphics programming. It's not script. It's graphic. Click, drag, link. Click, drag, link. Finish. We can have our own radio. Okay. All we need is the conversion from 1010 file in computer into the actual radio signals. It can be done using special equipment. The keyword is Blade RF, Lime SDR, Aptus, Yates. Let me show you how much price how much the cost. Okay, this one is the Lime SDR. Lime SDR is the most cheapest. This is very cheap. I'm very surprised. Let me see where to buy crowd supply. I hope it shows the price. No. Let me. Okay. Doesn't show the price. No price on that one. Okay, but actually this price is the price of Lime SDR is fairly low, like around $300. So the price of this equipment is similar to your phone. Okay, let me see Blade RF. Blade RF. Let me see this one. Okay. The cost is about $420, so it's very affordable. So all we need only this one and computer, antenna, ampli if you like. Okay, this I like to show you what we do. Open BTS Papua. So this is the base station in Papua, installed by the help of Curtis Hamler. This is Curtis Hamler. He's the one who helped friends in Papua to build their own BTS. This BTS, base transceiver station, is the longest running BTS in rural in the world, in Papua. It has been running for 7 years now, I guess. Without interruption. It's still running now, and then they replicate the BTS into like 13, I forgot, I think around 13 villages in Papua, and some people in other part of Indonesia, they actually adopting the same technology, but they move into 4G now. This actual BTS is GSM. This is the inside of the BTS, because I ran a workshop on how to build these things as well. So this is the inside of the BTS. This aluminum packaging is the equipment to convert the digital into radio signals. This one. This is the software-defined radio equipment. The green one is computer, and the small one here is the amplifier. So that's it. Oh, this is a duplexer. So we need computer, duplexer, conversion from computer to signal, and this is the amplifier. That's it. That's the inside of BTS, and people can run this one, this BTS in Papua. Okay, the one in Papua is run by school teacher in Bogendini, about 7 hours from Wamena. Okay, so we are looking at this kind of technology. So yes, we can build our own community cellular, and then the latest one, I try to educate people how to make school offline. Okay, it's very simple idea. Basically, we can use a Raspberry Pi 3, which is $35. You can get from online store. Let me show you what is Raspberry Pi 3. Okay, it's palm size server. So this is Raspberry Pi. Let me see if there is a palm. It's what's that? Credit card size PCB server. So the size of the PCB is same as credit card or your identity card, similar. The cost is about $35, and we can build a local school server using this equipment. I did run Wikipedia, copy of Wikipedia in this server, and I also able to run Moodle e-learning in this server. As we know, Wikipedia is free and Moodle is free. So student can access the knowledge for free using this kind of equipment. Okay, the name of the software to run a local copy of Wikipedia is called Kiwix, while the e-learning server is Moodlebox. I'll show you the Moodlebox because it's very clear for the Moodlebox. Moodlebox. Okay, this is Moodlebox. You can download the image for free. See, this is Raspberry Pi. You can download. Let me see where. Now this one. Get Moodlebox. You can download the image for free. It will include the operating system, web server, everything, including Moodle, into the image. So we can download the image, everything, and then we can install, and then the e-learning server is running on Raspberry Pi. We have tried this in several schools, and of course it works. But to make distance longer, we normally connect an outdoor Wi-Fi, so the surrounding neighborhood can connect to the server without having to worry about paying the license and pay the telecommunication fee. Everything is free. Okay. Because of that, we run to empower. We run e-learning and certificate in this website, LMS Ono Center, and Open Course is e-learning. Many of the video, I have around 2,000, more than 2,000 actually video in YouTube. I have two channels actually in YouTube, Ono Center, and the other one is cybersecurity, and also in this website, onocenter.sakamillennial.id. It's free. About 2,000, more than 2,000 video, and people can copy ebook and library from me. So people sending me hard disk and copy the hard disk for free. Basically, I try to lowering the cost for getting the knowledge. The major problem is not the cost now. The major problem is language, because most of the knowledge is written in English. When I copy to them, many of them actually complain to me, Pak Ono, do you have any books in Indonesian language? That's tough questions. So I really hope many of my colleagues, many of my students would like to write books and knowledge in Indonesian language, because that's what we actually need. Local knowledge in local language. That's the most important one. That's the most urgent one. At this time, having these difficulties, having this effort, finally, the international community actually give acknowledgements. For example, this one in 2005, when this is by Richard Hughes. Okay. When Wi-Fi is liberated, I have to type again. Okay, copy. So this is the international recognition. So basically, because of the people power, a lot of people getting the knowledge, a lot of people convinced, building the technology, and finally we liberate Wi-Fi. This is one. The other one is, sorry, this one, the Postal Service Award. This is last year. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oops. Let me see how I can. Up. Let me let me search Google the easiest way. Postal Service Award. Yeah. Okay. So this only last year. Postal Service is an award given by, sorry, Postal Awards. No. Oh, wrong. Postal. Oh, this one. So Postal Service is the highest award given by Internet Society in recognition of Jonathan Postel. If you are an internet technology, internet geeks, if you are involved in Internet Engineering Task Force, if you are involved in building the internet, you will know who is Jonathan Postel. Jonathan Postel basically the man behind the internet, the man who built the internet, the man who maintained the internet standard, the man who maintained the early IP address, the man who maintained the early port numbers. When we numbering the ports, actually Jonathan Postel is the one who maintained everything. So he's the guy. Okay, and then because of his contribution, Internet Society gave the highest award to people in internet technology named after Jonathan Postel. After Jonathan Postel, called Jonathan Postel Service Award. So this is the guy who received the awards. Okay, finally Indonesia received one because of sharing the knowledge basically with the Indonesian people on how to build the internet technology for free, for low cost, and hopefully we actually building the internet technology. So we are not aiming for the performance. We are aiming for as many people getting the technology, as many people convinced, putting their own money and build their own technology. So with that, I hope this will give you some insight for the direction of the research. Not only for the quality of the technology, but also how to make the technology benefit for as many people as possible. Thank you very much. I give it back to Ms. VJ. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, Bapak Ono. I got dizzy just by listening to your explanation and history.
Dizzy.
I think, I got dizzy suddenly. No wonder why people call you a legend, because you have been working on the issue for about 30 years and have shown the results that have been enjoyed by Indonesian people. We do hope there will be more people with this kind of endurance like you, Pak. Thank you for this very wonderful presentation. And
You're welcome.
I have read your profile and felt confused which one should be put and share here, because it seems like an endless list. Thank you once again. So I think we can invite 1 or 2 questions for this session. Please, everyone, if you are curious about Bapak Ono's work, please post your question.
Very confusing presentation.
Very confusing list, Pak. I'm so amazed.
It's fun though. It's very fun process.
Yeah, for you,
For everybody.
That's great.
For everybody.
Yeah. Bapak Ibu, do you have any question? Or you got confused just like me?
I'm sorry to make you confused.
Everybody's confused on posting what kind of questions that should be posted. No?
Sometimes people are speechless.
Yeah, very speechless now.
No problem, no problem. You are welcome to send me email and Twitter.
Okay.
So if you have question later, feel free to send me email. I put my email in the chat box.
Okay, good.
Indo.net ID. The other one is ono at oh. I put directly to you, private. Oh, okay. I have to give it to everyone.
Okay.
My email is ono at ittsaci. Oops, wrong. Ono at ittsaci ID or ono at indo.net.id. So feel free to send me email. I like to, what's that? Not supervise, helping people to write books as well. Because that's the key.
Wow.
If you like to write books, you can talk to me on how to write books. It's free, you don't have to pay. You have to pray. You don't have to pay. You have to pray for me. That's it.
That's wonderful. Okay, let's use Pak Ono as maximum as possible.
No problem.
Okay, thank you very much once again for the presentation today, Papa Ono.
Thank
Hope
you.
you're always in a good shape
Thank
and
you.
in innovating mode on.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.